video, the latest on the phenomenon everyone is talking about. Charlie Sheen, outside his home and surrounding his family, a paparazzi siege.
What do you recommend? Talk to the cops or call TMZ?
Inside, a man seizing the moment, running meetings from his backyard patio table, trying to cash in on his infamy.
Charlie Sheen label, Charlie Sheen hang tag, folded and packed in the nice poly bags.
You'll see him in private moments. 1 minute texting and chain smoking, the next working out and joking.
What? Joke.
In fact, he's looking healthier than we've seen in a long time. Not the portrait of a man in the midst of a major life crisis. And his so-called goddesses, they're always along for the ride.
Good night.
But enter at your own risk. The world, according to Charlie Sheen, may just be too much for you to handle.
I'm tired of pretending like I'm not special. I'm tired of pretending like I'm not bitching a total freaking rock star from Mars.
For the past week, one of TV's biggest stars has waged a take-no-prisoners offensive against his former bosses. This after CBS and Warner Brothers pulled the grenade pin on the hit sitcom 2.5 Men. The move enraged the actor, and he made headlines.
So when I say we're at war, we're at war.
I've been along to watch and listen as Sheen has fumed over the radio.
Defeat is not an option, and they know it.
On TV.
And yeah, we're on a rocket ship to the moon some nights, but if you do the crime, you got to do the time.
And on the internet via his new Twitter account.
Charlie!
At first, it all seemed absurd, even funny to some.
Well, on the Today Show yesterday, Charlie Sheen said you can't compare him to other people because he has tiger blood. And today, Tiger Woods said, hey, I got Charlie Sheen blood. That's, of course, that's what happened.
Then it turned surreal as the week wore on and the cameras rolled. It was Charlie Sheen, raw and uncensored. First, he ranted at his bosses.
Shame on them for picking a fight with a guy that just has no interest in dealing with them on that level.
Next, he sneered at addiction experts.
With the fiction of AA.
And redefined his own alcohol and drug abuse.
Did you turn to alcohol and other substances because you were bored?
No, I did that because they work.
Then he showed off his new girlfriend. Make that girl friends. He calls them goddesses.
Is this pretty normal? I mean, pictures of the kids on the fridge.
I mean, aside from the days when we sit there with big old palm fronds and fan him and fan drinks, you know.
He even released this video of authorities removing his twin boys from his mansion Tuesday night.
At this moment, on live television, I do not know where my children are, but...
And then, with the stakes at their highest, Charlie Sheen kept talking.
Don't have tiger blood, you know, Adonis DNA.
And tweeting.
And I'm just going to keep pressing the truth.
And coining new catchphrases.
Right now, I'm winning.
What exactly is America watching? A canny actor playing the role of underdog? Or is it the crash of another entertainment idol? The mental unspooling of a man? I spent more than 10 hours with Charlie Sheen this week. Each time we talked, he seemed sober, but his logic was often grandiose and hard to follow, especially when he went on about his employers.
CBS, Warner Brothers have canceled the rest of the season.
Geniuses.
Why do you say that?
Well, I mean, it's like the most valuable sitcom in the history of television, and I don't know. I just think they're behaving from a place of ego and panic and emotion, and I think that's where you live in the middle. And on the battlefield or a ball field, that's what gets people killed effortlessly. I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying that they've revealed themselves to be, as I say, you know, soft targets in cheap suits. And they've made a statement that they are aggressively trying to destroy my family by taking my money. And I will not allow that. Defeat is not an option. So when I say we're at war, we're at war. They are eliminating the means from which I support my family.
How do you plan on winning that war?
With zeal and focus and violent hatred. You either love or you hate. You live in the middle, you get nothing.
And you hate them?
Well, what's not to hate? Look what they've done. There's no there's no allegiance here. There's no support. There's not. I mean, they kind of left me twisted in the breeze out in the cold, and all I've done is made a ton of dough for the studio, a ton of dough for Mr. Laurie, and it's like
the executive producer.
Yeah, and this is the thanks I get. I don't get it. You know, the show got a green light because I walked into his office one day and delivered the lottery. You know, it was a Charlie Sheen contingent show. Me and my manager Mark Berg had access to the emails, the internal emails saying this is not a Chuck Lorre show, this is a Charlie Sheen show, and it's like I'm sitting here thinking none of this makes any sense. None of this makes any sense to me.
What does seem clear is that Charlie Sheen is where he likes to be, in the spotlight. And if that means taking on TV executives, substance abuse specialists, even his own family, then so be it.
I'm 45 years old, and I'm not interested in people treating me like a 12-year-old.
The world of Charlie Sheen was on the air this week, just not on CBS. And Americans spent their time trying to figure this man out, if they could.
People can't figure me out. They can't process me. I don't expect them to. You can't process me with a normal brain.
Americans have actually been trying to figure Sheen out for decades, meltdown by meltdown. Sheen has made a life and career out of playing the bad boy. As a kid, he flunked out of Santa Monica High before entering the family business. His father, of course, is actor Martin Sheen.
It might have helped him open a few doors early on.
Scott Collins is a staff writer for the Los Angeles Times.
What's happened since has been Charlie. It's been what he's done or hasn't done.
Sheen found success early. He was just 21 years old when he landed his breakout role in Oliver Stone's 1986 hit, Platoon. He followed that up with the lead in the director's next movie, Wall Street.
If you were looking at Charlie in those days, you could be thinking that Charlie was going to have a movie career much better than even Michael Douglas's.
And yet that didn't happen. By the early 90s, the weighty roles had become noticeably lighter, like his role in The Three Musketeers.
You broke my fall perfectly.
Suddenly, the actor's personal life was getting more attention than his professional one. That year, he accidentally shot his then-fiancée, Kelly Preston, in the arm. Later, the tabloids dished about his fling with a porn star. Then he played a starring role in the Heidi Fleiss scandal.
That was really the first time when Charlie had moved from matinee idol to late night punchline, which is not really a place where any actor wants to be.
Sheen married in 1995, but a year later was getting divorced and getting into trouble again. Busted for attacking a girlfriend. He pleaded no contest. 2 years later, he was hospitalized for a cocaine overdose. After that, his own father turned him in for violating his parole. But just when it seemed Charlie Sheen had finally blowtorched his career, he somehow rose from the ashes.
Hello, I'm Charlie Crawford, and I just want to say I'm very excited to be here at City Hall.
In 2000, after Michael J. Fox left the show, Sheen played a deputy mayor in the hit TV series Spin City.
And I heard you changed.
I have changed.
His work won him a Golden Globe in 2002. And a year later, a new sitcom on a new network. CBS's 2.5 Men based its roguish character Charlie Harper on Charlie Sheen himself.
I mean, I still look good.
The show was a hit. Once again, Sheen was in a groove, professionally and personally. He had married the actress Denise Richards. The couple had 2 children. And then came the fights.
Pregnant and leaving. Denise Richards walks away from Charlie Sheen.
The couple's divorce in 2006 made headlines, ugly even by Hollywood standards. Afterward, the volatile star tried to settle down again. In 2008, Sheen married his 3rd wife, real estate agent Brooke Mueller. 2 children came along, and then they started fighting.
So for all of the funniness and all of Charlie having all these crazy slogans and things, there's definitely a dark side to the guy.
After a Christmas argument turned violent, Brooke Mueller called the police. Last year, Sheen pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault in that case, was put on probation, and ordered into rehab. Still, he kept his job. In fact, he got a big raise, and the show became an even bigger hit. Kate Coyne writes for People magazine.
2.5 Men is the most successful sitcom on television. This is a huge deal. It makes a lot of money for CBS. It's very, very attractive to advertisers. This is their most valued commodity amongst their sitcoms.
Which may explain why his bosses stuck by him even this past October, when they heard this.
Charlie Sheen has been released from the hospital after...
Police had found the actor wasted at New York's famed Plaza Hotel, a terrified porn star locked in his bathroom. 5 weeks ago, Sheen was hospitalized yet again, he said, for a hernia. Then he entered rehab. In response, CBS and Warner Brothers announced they were placing 2.5 Men on production hiatus and said, quote, "We are profoundly concerned for his health and well-being and support his decision." But Sheen didn't like that. Last week, he lashed out on the Alex Jones radio show.
Look what I'm dealing with, man. I'm dealing with fools and trolls. You know, I'm dealing with soft targets, and it's just, you know, it's just strafing runs in my underwear before my first cup of coffee because I don't have time for these clowns.
That same day, CBS and Warner Brothers issued this statement. Based on the totality of Charlie Sheen's statements, conduct, and condition, CBS and Warner Brothers Television have decided to discontinue production of 2.5 Men for the remainder of the season. That's about all Sheen's bosses have had to say about the actor's media antics, although the president of CBS, Les Moonves, left the future of the show open when speaking at a business conference this week.
He's on the air quite a bit these days. I wish he would have worked this hard to promote himself for an Emmy. You know, I hope it's back. We'll see.
Didn't CBS have a right to shut your show down? They're reading about you partying at all hours of the night, taking drugs, abusing alcohol. It's their show.
Epic behavior. No, because after reading about that, then they observed the guy hitting every mark, nailing every line, every joke, with a full house, screaming.
Ever miss a day of work?
Not a day that cost anybody any money. I missed practice. We're talking about practice. To quote the great Allen Iverson, practice. Come on, guys, we're talking about practice. Yeah, I missed a couple things, teeth or, I don't know, toe, hernia. But that's just practice, and it's practice is for amateurs, you know.
Ever show up to the set drunk or high?
Never once. You know, a little bit sideways, having not slept, but never loaded, never drunk, nothing on the set. No, when I step between the lines, it's on. And I'm there to show others how it's done. It's not really rocket science again, you know.
In fact, watching the show, Sheen does make it seem effortless.
We're going to need 2 rooms, one for Alan Harper and son, and one for Charlie Harper and a cocktail waitress to be named later.
On Monday, Sheen told me he just wanted to get back to work, but there was a catch. He wanted more money.
But it's at this point, because of psychological distress, oh my God, it's $3 million an episode. Take it or leave it.
Oh, so you want to raise?
Well, yeah, look what they put me through.
So you make $2 million an episode now.
Roughly, that includes the back end, yeah.
And you want $3 million now.
Well, because I'm underpaid right now, sure.
You're underpaid.
If you look at the money they're making, yeah, it's ridiculous.
But to go back to work, Sheen would have to mend his relations with the show's executive producer, Chuck Lorre, the subject of an especially sensitive episode in this saga. Lorre's real name is Charles Levine. During one radio interview, Sheen referred to him using a Hebrew name, Chaim, coupled with Levine. Outrage followed. You've been calling in the press Chuck Lorre by his other name.
Well, he wrote it in his own vanity card, and, you know, I'm Carlos Estevez, and he's the other name. I can't say it anymore because people got really upset.
You've been called an anti-Semite.
I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this is Mark
Are you?
Berg. Mark Berg, my manager. Jeff Russell, my interviewer. I mean, no, I've never had that in my past. You can look as deep and as far as you want, and it's just not there because I'm not that guy. No, that's silliness.
Chuck Lorre hasn't directly responded to Sheen's recent comments, but before the show was canceled, he would reference the actor in customized vanity cards. In one last month, quoting his clean living habits, Lorre wrote, "If Charlie Sheen outlives me, I'm gonna be really pissed." But now Sheen says his bad boy days are behind him. He's done with addiction. And hear this, he's cured himself.
You don't need Alcoholics Anonymous. How have you done that?
I closed my eyes and made it so with the power of my mind.
Coming up,